good shape. So if I stutter and stammer, please forgive me. I'm here for one reason, to introduce the great football team, the 1975 Best Center Bulldogs. It is about you. I would like to recognize all who were part of the 1975 champions. Thank you, committee. Thank you, John Sacco, for his kindness and always his help. Thank you, Jim Pritz and Andy Bertucci. And thank you, the Slagles. And I want to include Toots in there, because she was the head of my booster club for years. And oh, what a honey she was. And Dennis Slagle, he was my quarterback, a great quarterback. He had a Division I arm. We went undefeated with him, 5 wins and 4 ties. If he wouldn't have broken his collarbone, that would have been another championship team. Special thanks to all my coaches. Many are looking down from heaven. They are with us tonight. They were all important to our Hall of Fame team. Don Bartolomucci, peace be with you. He was a great defensive coordinator. He worked miracles with our defense. Our starting defense gave up 24 points in the season. Not in 2 games, 4 or 6 games. In 12 games, they gave up 24 points. Those starters, had 10 shutouts in 12 games. Coach Cicchini, peace be with you. He coached all your offensive line, could coach in all phases of the game. Players are still mourning his accident. Mike Posey, peace be with you. Great player at Best Center. He coached special teams. Great coach with a kind heart. Tom Domer, peace be with you. My brother. He coached centers. Pappy played at WVU. A super team man. Barry Teasdale, peace be with you. He kept stats, the true brain. Jan Hayden, he helped Bartolomucci with the defense. Great coach. Went on to Ringgold to become a great defensive coordinator. And then the head coach at Jefferson Morgan High School. Tony Rosito, now the coach at Best Center. Coached with me since '75. A tremendous coach and a tremendous friend. And we're hoping soon to bring another championship home at Best Center. I just want to tell you a little about our team. It was a great team. We had great offense. I ran into the offense. We had a super backfield. We averaged 35 points a game. We liked to run the ball. We liked to run misdirection. We loved to run counters. We had the backs, Barry Miller. He's in heaven. A great running back. Jim Pritz, our fullback, the most unselfish football player I ever coached. Barry Stuttgart, a great running back, great defensive player, along with Jim Pritz. I'm calling him Mr. Curry, Barry Stuttgart. We had a little quarterback. He was a little miracle man with the ball. Half the time he didn't know who had the ball. His name was Kevin Bailey. He was 5'6", 150 pounds. He was a team leader. He and our center never had a snap fumble between the two the entire season. He had a play-action pass, and he would run tough. These backs were all 4'5", 4'6" runners. We loved to run the football. We had a quarterback, a sophomore, Charlie Colburn, who also came a great outstanding line. We had great receivers at ends, Branger Neal, Jim Shargats, and Wally Stuckey. We had two All-State tackles, George Smoggy and Tom McCarty. Peace be with you, Tom. These two tackles were pancake guys. They loved the pancake people. They were great blockers. They were great downfield blockers. They were hustlers. We had two little mighty mites of guards. We liked to pull and trap. That's what we liked. How did these two little guys do it? Andy Bertucci and Buzzy Carrasco, 5'6", 150 pounds. They were like thunder and lightning. They loved to trap defensive ends. Those big 6'4", 210 guys. They come down there low to the ground, and they thought they were hit by thunder because they never saw them coming. And there goes our backs on the counter for a long game. Our center was Bill Ratika. My favorite coach, Tom Doman, was with me all my coaching days. Great player at West Virginia, and he went on to play pros. He was a great center coach. Coach Doman's pride and joy was our center, Bill Ratika. Now we go to our team defense. Here's Coach Bartolomucci. Coach Hayden was helping him. These guys were hungry. They were ball hunters. They loved contact. We had three great safeties. That was our receivers on offense. They went both ways. Jim Shargats, 19 interceptions in his career. He was a ball hawk. Branger Nemo in the center. He's all over the field breaking up passes. Also, he loved to tackle. Our other safety, Wally Stutka, always 100%. He was Mr. Team Man. This was a great group of safeties. They give up one touchdown pass the entire season. We had a great group of linebackers. We called our outside linebackers cat and dog. Barry Stutka was the cat. He weren't going to run outside on us. No one did. Jim Pritz was on the other side. He was a dog. Options, you weren't going to run an option. These two were starters for 2 years, and they were going to come across. Katanning the last game, they had the Oates brothers. They were known for running outside with the option. Who did we have to stop? The Oates brothers. For the game, they were -9 yards trying to run outside. They were favored to beat us by 2 touchdowns. We shut them out 13-0. Our defense was tough. Inside, you couldn't run in there. I had 2 great linebackers, Pat Sosnak, known as the Hitman. And he had his buddy next to him, another Hitman, Gary Celeste. I had 2 great defensive ends. Hal Lockett, he was a defensive end that if you split out, he was free. And he loved to chase quarterbacks. On the other side was Ted Giles. He was a destroyer. He loved to destroy blockers. You weren't going to run the Powerball on him. Backing him up was Pritz. Inside, I had 5'10", 170 pound tackles. Our little guys like that played defensive tackle. They were the guy. Jordy Swallow tipped his hand after the first playoff game with Peters. I said, wow, I'm going to lose my good defensive tackle. He walks up on the practice field, no cast on. His dad's with him. He says to me, Coach Connors, we're not going to cast him. He wants to play in the Beaver game next. Beaver's undefeated, the top team in the WPIL. They said we didn't have a chance against Beaver. He said, Coach Connors, put some tape on him. He wants to play, let him play. He gave me permission to play. You know how many tackles he had against Beaver? 15. Now I want to tell you a story. I kept talking about Barry Stroke and Mr. Courage. I'm going to tell you this story. It's called Mr. Courage. This is the story. He was working on a farm. His pants got caught in a machine. The machine cut his leg off, below the knee. He took his belt off and made a tourniquet. On one leg, he hopped a quarter mile. He was able to get over 2 fences on one leg, however made it. He hopped that quarter mile and he came to a house for help. The lady living there panicked. She was unable to call for help. Barry Stuttgart called for help. He's with us today. That's Best Center, that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you, Mr. Courage. An act of courage that was known throughout the United States. That was my running back, an outside linebacker. That's what Best Center players do. It's a huge blessing that I had the opportunity to coach this team and to have such super assistant coaches. God bless you, Best Center. Always remember our team motto, love one another.
Okay, when I announce it, come on here. So the east side.